Welcome back to This Might Get Creative. I'm your host, Svenja Lyon, brand strategist and creative director at Lyon Creatives. And today's episode is another solo episode. So if you listen to a couple of my guest episodes, you might have noticed that there's a trend right now. And one topic that comes up in almost every conversation, and that is AI. AI content is everywhere. Don't get me wrong. I like AI and the possibilities and time-saving options that it delivers. But there are also a lot of downsides that are really affecting social engagement, trust, and most importantly, the uniqueness of your brand. Everything pretty much sounds the same. And we all run into this problem. We need to keep up with posting. We need to keep coming up with new content for all the social channels. And a lot of times, we have no idea what to post. So what do? The easiest option is to go to our wonderful AI friend of choice and ask for a quick content calendar. And what it comes up with sounds awesome, so polished, so easy, no spelling errors, and everything is just right. But, and this is a big but, it also sounds as perfect as everyone else's message or voice. And that is exactly the topic that I like to talk about today. I'd like to dive a little deeper into what a brand voice actually is, why it matters more today, and give some practical tips on how to develop yours. So what's happening right now? Take a couple of minutes and just observe your own behavior when you scroll on social media. Do you scroll past everything and occasionally like something? Or do you actually pause and read the full caption of a post? And if you do read a caption, why did you stop? Was it the picture or was it something else? In my own observation, I typically stop for images that feel unique and different from everything I just scroll past. And when I start reading, I skim the first couple of words. And as soon as it sounds like AI, with the typical AI giveaways like the M dashes, the over exaggerated openers, or the ones that annoy me the most are, I get it, what I keep seeing, blah, blah, blah. As soon as I read those, I stop reading. And not because the brand is bad. It's because I probably read the same message on every other platform from thousands of other people who asked AI to write their content. And it came up with the perfect, polished content for everyone. So everything sounds perfect, everything sounds polished, and it's becoming more and more boring. If you look at a piece of art, most of the time, the ones that are really standing out are not the ones that are perfect. The ones that are standing out are the ones that have little tiny special effects, maybe tiny errors, maybe brush strokes that are different, that were not meant to be there. So everything we just talked about that applies to your visuals, but also to your brand voice. Consumers are bored. They're skeptical. And as soon as something sounds like everyone else's, social engagement flattens and trust declines. The brands that are standing out are the ones that are different, the ones that aren't perfect and polished, the ones that sound human. And of course, that depends on your business. If you're a lawyer, your brand voice needs to reflect your expertise. If you're a dog walker, your voice can be more casual or funny. But in both cases, it still needs to be uniquely yours. And this is the environment we're marketing in right now. Now let's look at brand voice versus brand aesthetics. Your brand voice is not your logo or the templates or the colors that you use. That's aesthetics. The aesthetics should match your brand voice and represent who you are, but the brand voice is the way you communicate. It's the way you speak, the words you choose, how you frame a topic, and most importantly, your personality. What is it about your voice that makes you uniquely you? Or your brand. By being you, you attract exactly the right clients into your circle, because the person that you're talking to is attracted to your personality or to your brand's personality. You can have the most beautiful branding visually, but if your messaging sounds like a template, no one feels anything. They just get bored reading the same stuff over and over. That does not mean that you can't use AI to help create content. It's the way you present that content that makes you stand out. Here's an example. I have a good friend. She's in my networking group. She's super funny, a little dry, and she's also an insurance agent. There's not a lot that's new about insurance. So AI can create insurance content all day long. But the way she stands out is by applying her unique personality into every piece of content that she posts, and also the way she shows up. If you see her posts, even before knowing it's hers, you know it's hers because it has the same witty, funny flair to it. That is how she stands out from all the other insurance agents out there. People can connect with her. Her voice is clear and consistent. It's not perfect and polished. It's different, it's engaging, and it makes her audience smile. And that's what makes her different and makes her stand out. So now you might think, how can you develop yours? Because most of the time, we feel insecure about how we show up online, because that's who we are. That's very personal. It's putting ourselves out there the way we are. And that is difficult for me, and that is difficult for pretty much anyone out there. But the truth is, if you know your target audience and you connect with them, it's because they like who you are. Maybe it's because you're funny and lighthearted. Maybe it's your calm approach that makes people feel secure. And maybe it's your accent. Just something that makes you special. So start looking at what has already worked. Which social post resonated the most with your audience? Try to analyze it. Most of the time, it was probably a moment where you were uniquely you, or where your brand had a style that felt different and interesting. Which email got you a good response rate? Which client conversation felt really good? So now, after analyzing this, look at the words that came up repeatedly. What's the tone when you're at your best? Compare those findings to what you're currently publishing. What's the gap? Do the words match the images you're posting? Are you sharing a smiling photo with a caption that's flat and serious? The goal is not to be clever, perfect, and polished. The goal is to be different, unique, and recognizable. Now apply that voice consistently across all of your platforms. And over time, that's what builds recognition and trust. That's what your brand becomes known for. Not how much you post, but the quality and the consistency of how you show up. The businesses that are standing out are the ones investing in brand clarity before posting volume. The ones that know the story, the ones that know their mission, their vision, the brand goals, and who they want to attract. Those are the ones that are different and special. Because once you have that clarity, you can speak directly to the audience and actually make them feel something. With your own voice, you can stand out from all the other AI content that's being published everywhere. If you need help with your brand voice or strategy, I invite you to take the free brand audit scorecard at lioncreatives.com/brand audit scorecard. It takes about 10 minutes and can give you a clear picture of where your brand actually stands. Or if you'd like to have a conversation, you can also book a call at calendly.com/Svenja Lyon Creatives. This was it for today. some small little tips on how to make your brand stand out. Thank you so much for listening. And if this was useful, please share it, leave a review, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye.